Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government would take possession of 1,130 stolen Benin artifacts immediately when they are returned to the country. The Benin bronzes are being expected from Germany. Mr. Mohammed disclosed this on Saturday in Lagos at a news conference on the efforts by the federal government to repatriate looted smuggled artifacts from around the world. The minister's disclosure comes in the aftermath of the controversy that had trade who will take possession of the expected artifacts between the Oba of Benin, Obaiwuari II, and Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki. While the other, the Oba wanted the artifacts stolen from Benin Palace in 1987 to be returned to a museum to be built within the palace premises. The governor showed preference for a private trust to take custody and manage the artifact. The minister, however, said that the federal government was the entity recognized by international law as the authority in control of antiquities originating from the country. The federal government is aware of the widely reported controversy over who will take possession of the Benin bronzes when they are returned from Germany. Let me state clearly here that in line with international best practice and the operative conventions and laws, the return of the artifacts is being negotiated bilaterally between the national governments of Nigeria and Germany. Nigeria is the entity recognized by international law as the authority in control of antiquities originating from Nigeria. The relevant international conventions treat heritage properties as properties belonging to the national and not to individuals or subnational groups, he said. The minister cited the 1970 UNESCO Convention in its Article 1, which defines cultural property as property specifically designated by that nation. He said the provision allows individual nations to determine what it regards as its cultural property. He, however, noted that the provision, notwithstanding its mystery, had been working over the past years to repatriate looted artifacts in partnership with traditional institutions and state governments. What we are saying in essence is that the federal government will take possession of these antiquities because it is the duty to do so in line with the extant laws. We have always exercised these rights in cognizance of the culture that produced the artworks. That is why the Ministry of Information and Culture and the National Commission for Museums and Monuments have always involved both the Edo State government and the Royal Benin Palace in discussions and negotiations that have now resulted in the impending return of these antiquities, he said. The minister said the federal government was not just involved in the repatriation of Benin artifacts. He said his ministry was also working on repatriating Ife bronzes and terracotta, Nok terracotta, Owo terracotta, the art of the Benue River Valley, the Igbo Uku, and the arts of Bida, Igala, Juku, and so on. Okay. Hmm. Come to think of this whole thing, these artifacts were stolen, and you can imagine the atrocities being committed against the country in the olden days, and that's why we are having problem. Those who came with force and begin to merge people together. If we, in my opinion, if you ask me, even if the government is the entity that is being recognized in pursuant of this artifact, but we know where they were taken from. They were specifically taken from the palace, the Oba Palace, and it is a it is costing demands that it needs to be returned to the palace because it is a traditional thing. Where do you want to go and keep it? If it's being brought, are you want to go and keep it in Asu Rock? Do you want to go and keep it in Asu Rock? And that is why you see that a Bini culture is one of the culture that has been, they have been holding on to that culture that you don't, when you get to that place, you will see the real culture. They don't mix it with any form of thing. They are so engrossed with their culture. And when you see them, they don't joke with it. You just see, as soon as you see them, you know where these particular people are coming from. So if it was taken from that palace, because that was what the Alba said, so the cost demands that it should be returned there, so that it will be as a thing that people will now come and be seeing. Oh, see those things that were stolen at one point in time. Now they've been restored back. So where do you want it to take them to? Even the governor too, I don't even support that the thing should go to any government. It's a cultural thing. So what do you want to do with it? I hope at the end of the day, we will not be hearing different stories, because this country that we are in, the more you look, the less you see. Yes, the more you look, the less you see. Nigerian government have the habit of return looted funds. So Artefact shouldn't be an exception. Well, I have so much trust in the office of Oba of Benin. Of course, he will not talk about it twice. Just call, they will return it back to Benin City. Okay, Kwara thief has spoken. This one is referring to Lai Mohammed, but it doesn't belong to federal government. Well, I will rather allow Germany to withhold it until Igodomigodo gain independence from the zoo and they can return it to them directly than allow Fulani to touch it. It was stolen from Benin Kingdom and should be returned there. That's it. That's how it ought to be. I don't know why all this argument. If you the government, if you bring it, fine, you give it to them. So it is indirectly belong to Fulani. Hey, now waiting one Nigeria they cause. All Progressive Congress moves always to their side. I'm sure their proposed museum location will definitely be the north. On hearing this, Oba of Benin will be regretting ever fighting the governor, because the yet to be returned artifact united we stand, divided we shall face. From Benin artifact to federal government, the Oba thought he was engaged in one fight with the governor. Now the big bad wolf has taken the artifact to the detriment of the Edo people. Shame. This man needed to be stopped, burdened by those that have power to do so at any level, because he used his tainted idea and cage mind destroy the remaining good of the country. The same man mastermind the stoppage of popular radio program called Berekete reality show by one Dr. Ahmad Isha in Abuja. He also masterminded the stoppage of Twitter. The same man is giving very annoying directive to radio and TV stations to stop reporting the activities of terrorists in the country. Is using his position through the NBC to intimidate and silence anything media. And this one is referring to Lai Mohammed. So guys, in a nutshell, where do you think that the artifact should be returned to? In my opinion, where it was taken. So I don't even know the fight over this whole thing. Leave your comment down there below and let's know your thoughts. Thank you.